Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 494 based on novel. So let's start. Back when Wang Lin unconsciously blasted away the storm, Dun Tian's senior brother felt something. He then spent a large amount of life force to divinate 9 times. He was going to find the future of the soul refining sect. He was going to find the soul refining sect a path to survival. The 9 divinations all gave him an extremely absurd conclusion. He didn't believe it at first, but after coming to the same result 9 times, he had to believe it. All the divinations pointed to the country of Zhao. They pointed toward a specific country and a scholar inside that county. As a result, he came with his expectations high along with a feeling of absurdity. After arriving in this country, he spent a few days questioning almost every single scholar, but he didn't get a satisfactory answer. Those scholars were only mortals. How could they answer this question? With the middle-aged man's cultivation level, forget the country of Zhao, he was considered extremely powerful across the entire planet. Soul transformation, just one step from ascendant. The middle-aged man rolled up his sleeves and the black wind roared. Endless ghosts roared inside, surrounding Wang Lin and Big Fortune. This caused this area to separate from the world and become blurry. Big Fortunate was still sleeping. His snores echoed and seemed to be out of place. Wang Lin turned around and looked at the man that had walked out from the dark world. This person was an immortal. Wang Lin understood this, but he wasn't afraid at all. He could see that while the middle-aged man seemed powerful, he was in fact extremely weak. Wang Lin didn't understand why. It seemed that ever since that voice had appeared in his mind during that rainy night, a strange change had happened to his body. This change was an inexplicable feeling, and it became even more apparent just after he finished writing the answer to the test. He calmly looked at the middle-aged man that walked over and slowly said, "Speak." The middle-aged man was surprised. He stood several feet from Wang Lin and carefully looked at Wang Lin. In his eyes, Wang Lin was very ordinary, a true mortal and not a cultivator. However, Wang Lin's calm expression allowed the middle-aged man to see something extraordinary. All the scholars he had encountered had crumbled before him. The fear and terror they felt required him to use a spell to soothe them before they could speak. Wang Lin was the first person he had met that was so calm. This couldn't even be described as calm. From what the middle-aged man saw, Wang Lin seemed to not care about his presence at all. It was as if Wang Lin didn't think of him as an immortal but as a mortal. It has to be said that with his cultivation level, even mortal emperors would have to tremble in fear and treat him like an ancestor. The invisible pressure around him wasn't something a mortal could resist. Even cultivators would be suppressed with fear. This middle-aged man had only encountered something like this twice in his life. Both of the mortals that he met that were this calm were the greatest scholars on planet Suzaku. These great scholars had comprehended the heavens and could see through the world. They had powerful auras and were not afraid of ghosts or the supernatural. Although even a chi condensation cultivator could kill them, the higher one's cultivation level, the more they would feel an aura similar to that of a cultivator within the scholars. If someone like this were to cultivate, they would be a natural. Wang Lin was the third person that gave him this feeling. After pondering for a bit, the middle-aged man clasped his hands at Wang Lin. "This old man is soul refining sect master, Nian Qian. One line to read the heavens. The word Nian, one, covers everything. Good name." Wang Lin smiled and clasped his hands at the middle-aged man. The aura of a great scholar became even stronger on his body. The howling ghosts slowly retreated as if they were afraid to get close. Even the howling weakened until it disappeared completely. This shocked the middle-aged man. He took a deep breath and hope appeared in his eyes. He faintly felt that he would find his answer from his person. It was likely that his 9 divinations all pointed to this person. This old man wants to ask if my soul refining sect has a path to survival. I hope you can resolve this old man's 100-year question. Nian Qian looked sincere and clasped his hands at Wang Lin again. The inheritance of his sect was very important, and asking a mortal was very strange. Even Nian Qian himself thought it was absurd, but with 9 divinations coming to the same result, he had to believe it. Luckily, Wang Lin's extraordinary calmness allowed him to see hope as he waited for Wang Lin's answer. After hearing this question, Wang Lin was startled and silently pondered. "I can't answer it." After a long time, Wang Lin shook his head. He had no idea what the soul-refining sect was. He could only roughly guess that it was an immortal sect. The middle-aged man didn't speak and revealed a bitter expression. He shook his head and let out a sigh. He looked at the sky and felt that his behavior was really unreasonable. He was asking this mortal about the fate of his sect. "This old man has disturbed you. You are a great scholar, so this old man won't erase your memory." "Ah?" The old man revealed a wry smile. He waved his sleeves and turned to leave. His figure gave off a sense of depression and confusion as he walked away. Wang Lin looked at the bleak figure. He could faintly feel an invisible mountain weighing on this person. Under the weight of the mountain, this middle-aged man looked even more miserable. Wang Lin thought about his dreams. He remembered the voice that echoed in his mind and calmly said, "Take me to see the soul-refining sect." The middle-aged man that was about to leave stopped and turned to look at Wang Lin. After a long time, he nodded and pointed at Wang Lin. The black wind gathered from all directions around Wang Lin. Then the middle-aged man stepped into the sky and disappeared along with Wang Lin. In the county, no one noticed the spell that was used outside the test area. No mortal could even see the black wind that had appeared. Under the tree, Big Fortune was still snoring. He muttered a bit before continuing his sleep. Planet Suzaku, in the sky above the soul-refining sect, Wang Lin appeared with a pale expression, but he was extremely calm. The black wind surrounded him and allowed him to stand firm. Beside him was Nian Qian. "This is my soul-refining sect." Nian Qian pointed at the land below and a rumble echoed. The black fog covering the sect scattered and the entire soul-refining sect entered Wang Lin's eyes. Wang Lin looked at the soul-refining sect beside him and a familiar feeling appeared from the bottom of his heart. He felt like he had been here before in his dreams, but when he thought about it carefully, he couldn't think of anything. A moment later, Wang Lin softly said, "I want to go walk around." "Good." Nian Qian didn't hesitate. He controlled the wind for Wang Lin, leading him to the soul-refining sect. There were many cultivators in the sect, and the opening of the sect attracted their attention. When they walked out, they immediately saw Wang Lin and Nian Qian. "Greetings, sect master." Voices echoed. The cultivators of the soul-refining sect all had strange expressions. They could all see that Wang Lin was a mortal, but they didn't know why the sect master would bring Wang Lin here. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with confusion as he walked through the soul-refining sect. He felt that this place was very familiar, and he even knew ahead of time the dangers that were here. The more he walked, the stronger this feeling became. Under a mountain peak, Wang Lin stopped. There were many caves in this mountain, and they could be seen from below. The familiar feeling became even stronger. It was as if he had lived here at some unknown time. Nian Qian still followed Wang Lin and accompanied him as he walked through the soul-refining sect. His eyes revealed a mysterious light as he looked at Wang Lin. Most of the day slowly passed, and Wang Lin finally arrived next to the main mountain in the soul-refining sect. Looking at the main mountain, it was surrounded by black fog rings that led into the sky. It was a majestic sight. At this moment, the sky dimmed. Wang Lin looked at the main peak. Although the familiar feeling was there, it was missing something. After a long time, he shook his head and was about to speak. A roar came from the main mountain and a figure appeared in the fog at the peak. It stepped toward Wang Lin and Nian Qian. "Senior brother, this person is?" As the ancient voice echoed, the black shadow closed in. He was also a middle-aged man, and his gaze swept across Wang Lin. "Dun Qian, this person is a scholar that I invited here. You are in the middle of fusing with the flag, don't be distracted. Quickly go back into closed-door cultivation." There was a complex emotion in Nian Qian's eyes as he spoke. Dun Qian smiled. Wang Lin was only a mortal in his eyes. Although he had taken a glance, He didn't bother remembering Wang Lin. He turned around and disappeared. Although he was like this, when Wang Lin saw Dun Qian, his mind rumbled as if he had thought of something. Looking at Dun Qian's retreating figure, 2 lines of tears started flowing down from the corners of his eyes for some reason. Just at this moment, a white bird flew across the soul-refining sect. It passed by while letting out a series of cries. Hundreds of years from now, on the day you die, a man will come here. He will be the path to survival for your soul-refining sect. Wang Lin murmured as he looked at Dun Qian's back, and even more tears appeared. Nian Qian trembled. He looked at Wang Lin for a long time and clasped his hands. He didn't believe this completely, but he remembered it in his heart. He didn't tell Dun Qian this. It wouldn't until hundreds of years from now, when he was dying, that the words of that unforgettable scholar would appear in his mind. 1. Mean like read or study. On his deathbed, he recalled the words of the no-name scholar formed hundreds of years ago. Those words seemed to fill his mind until the moment his life ended and he became one of the primary souls of the soul flag. His divine sense spread out for the last time at the end of his life and spread across the soul-refining sect. He saw a man who had fled from a far-away place and mixed in among the soul-refining sect disciples. A very ordinary-looking person. When he saw that moment, Nian Qian's divine sense trembled like never before. He was shocked to find that this person was the scholar he had questioned hundreds of years ago. With confusion and an unimaginable speculation, his divine sense dissipated. His soul became part of the soul flag. Wang Lin was sent back to the city in Zhao and stood next to the tree outside the test area. Big Fortune was still sleeping there. Everything that had happened felt like a dream. Karma. I understand a little. Wang Lin looked at the sky and saw the white bird again. The white bird circled in the sky before slowly disappearing into the clouds. After waking up Big Fortune, the two returned to the inn. The moonlight fell from the sky and stretched out their shadows. The ranking was going to be placed a few days after the test. All the scholars anxiously waited for that day to come. Those who entered the ranking would have a chance of going to the next test. This chance was to go to the city of Su to participate in the exam there and have a chance to fly to the heavens. Once they obtained the title of Chosen Su, they would have a chance to go to the capital of Zhao for their last struggle. If they were talented enough to obtain the appreciation of head scholar Su, they would instantly become famous. If they could become Su Dao's disciple, the glory they could obtain would be unimaginable. This was the desire of almost all the scholars in Zhao. Less than 50 people in the entire county would have the chance to go to the city of Su. Although Wang Lin's name was not on the top of the list, he was among these 50 people. When Wang Lin saw his own name, he didn't feel excited. He calmly looked at the ranking and left with the excited and proud Big Fortune. He went to the city hall to confirm his identity and obtained the certification for the next exam and the silver reward issued by the imperial court. What caused Big Fortune to become excited was not that Wang Lin had gotten on the ranking but the silver. His experiences during this short month had unknowingly changed Wang Lin, or one could say that he should have always been like this. Those dreams still existed every night, and he had grown used to them. His mentality had changed. He no longer felt lost, he no longer felt confused or worried about the failing the exam. What would be obtained would still be obtained and what would be lost would still be lost. Nothing was worth anything, only the heart remained the same. The heart was as calm as the water in the well. It was like looking at a mountain as a mountain, then seeing a mountain not as a mountain, and then seeing a mountain as a mountain again. In this short period of time, not even he realized how much he had changed. The aura of a great scholar gradually grew on his body. Among the countless scholars, his straight back and calm eyes stood out like a pearl. Like cultivators that coldly look down at their fellow cultivators. Life is like a dream. I'm not willing to wake up from this dream. There were many scholars celebrating and even more feeling depressed when Wang Lin left the city with Big Fortune. Just like how he came, he calmly left. Big Fortune followed Wang Lin and continued to calculate their silver. He would sometimes mutter and reveal an expression of heartache. At the gate of the city, Wang Lin stopped and his gaze fell on a wine stand not far away. Big Fortune, go buy wine. He suddenly wanted to drink even though he had gotten seriously drunk after just 2 cups before. There is very little silver and you want to drink wine. Big Fortune rolled his eyes as he grabbed the cloth around his chest and shook his head. What does this silver count as? Thousands of gold coins can be scattered, and they will always come back. Quickly, go buy wine. Wang Lin smiled and pushed Big Fortune. Big Fortune struggled and let out a long sigh. He arrived next to the wine stand unwillingly and began to bargain in a way that made Wang Lin gobsmacked. He even played dirty, and in the end the liquor vendor smiled wryly and sold Big Fortune 2 jugs of wine at a very low price. Despite this, Big Fortune still felt so much heartache when he took out the silver that his face became twisted and he started to mutter. Mine, mine, it was mine. Wang Lin laughed and took the wine jug. He took a big gulp and allowed the wine to flow down the corner of his mouth. Big Fortune quickly followed with a bitter expression. At this moment, it was noon. The two walked further and further away. The lonely and sad aura around Wang Lin dissipated greatly. Instead, it was replaced with relief. Young lord, where are we going? Big Fortune's voice echoed from the distance. The city of Su. I heard the Osmandus wine there is pretty good. I need to wait for a person there. Wang Lin took another sip of wine. He untied his hair and let it scatter behind him as he laughed. The city of Su was 250 kilometers south of the capital of Zhao. This city was very long and had a few rivers going through it. The city of Su was a river city. The city of Su was famous because of Su Dao. The city of Su was also a gathering place of talents, and where there were talents, there would be no lack of beauties. There were always boats traversing these rivers. Dancing and singing would happen day and night, making it very lively. Poetry, beautiful dances, and zither music filled the entire city of Su. All the wine stalls that sold Osmandus wine were as famous as the scholars. It was said that the officials in the capital would send people to buy the Osmandus wine from the city of Su. The head scholar, Su Dao, loved this wine in his earlier years and often drank it while comprehending the world. When he became famous, the Osmandus wine became even more famous. The 2-month journey passed by in the blink of an eye. Wang Lin and Big Fortune were sitting inside a humble carriage on the way to the city of Su. Wang Lin drank wine he had bought along the way and looked outside. Sometimes his laughter after getting drunk would echo. Young lord, don't drink anymore. The amount of wine you drink is frightening. It's only been 2 months, 2 months. See how much wine you already drank. Almost all the silver has been used by your drinking. Big Fortune cried out, voicing his extreme heartache. If you keep drinking, even if we reach the city of Su, we won't have any silver to stay at an inn. Who told you to drink? Who told you to drink so much? Big Fortune's chatter became more and more frequent in these 2 months. However, not only did he not make Wang Lin feel annoyed, but Wang Lin felt a sense of familiarity with him. No harm, you are the book boy and housekeeper. If there is no more silver left, you can just go earn some. Wang Lin laughed as he joked with Big Fortune. He drank wine and looked at Big Fortune, who had a bitter expression. As Big Fortune continued to chatter, dusk arrived and the sunset gave off a red glow. It wasn't glaring and the light was extremely gentle. As the carriage wobbled, they closed in on the city of Su. The city of Su was very big and looked like a mighty city. However, this was only the outer appearance. Inside, it was filled with winding rivers and gave off a feeling of elegance. After paying the fare for the carriage, Big Fortune looked at the little remaining money in his hand and nearly cried. Most of the money they had spent on the road was for wine that entered Wang Lin's stomach. Wang Lin's tolerance for alcohol had unknowingly increased. He was no longer someone who would get drunk after just 2 cups. After getting off the carriage, Wang Lin fixed his clothes. He looked very elegant with his white robe and long hair scattered. As he held the wine jug in his hand, the scholarly aura around him had dissipated. It was replaced with a sense of freedom. As he walked on the streets of Su, he saw many people walking along the road. Students accounted for more than half, and there were also many beautiful women embellishing the city. Although Wang Lin's appearance was ordinary, his temperament was very special. As he walked down the street, he attracted a lot of attention. Many beautiful women directed their gazes at Wang Lin. Wang Lin remained calm and continued to walk forward. Big Fortune followed behind him. During these past 2 months, he constantly had a bitter expression. At this moment, he was the same and continued to sigh. It was dusk in the city of Su, and the moonlight gradually appeared. As the boats floated along the river, the sound of music and leisure could be heard. Wang Lin stood on a bridge and looked at the boats on the river as the zither music filled his ears. "Young lord, who are we waiting for?" Big Fortune peeked at a few of the women dancing on a boat. He swallowed and his eyes shined. Wang Lin remained calm and muttered, "Waiting for a person from my dream. He will come and gift me a pot of wine. If he shows up, it will confirm one of my guesses." Big Fortune looked at the empty wine jug in Wang Lin's hand and said very carefully, "We are going to stand here waiting. Maybe we should find a cheap inn first." He was afraid Wang Lin would make him buy wine again. Wang Lin shook his head and revealed a smile that wasn't a smile. He looked at Big Fortune and said leisurely, "I remember that there was a lot of silver, especially after we got the silver from the exam. Is there?" Forgot." Big Fortune blinked and revealed an awkward expression. "Take out the silver you hid and get some Osmanthus wine and rent a boat. We will live here for a few days." Wang Lin waved his sleeve with a smile and no longer looked at Big Fortune. Wind blew by, causing ripples to echo across the river's surface and landed on Wang Lin's body. This wind was soft and not cold, it carried a hint of warmth. Along with the wind came the sound of a zither playing. Wang Lin murmured, "Will you come? The world is an inn for all living things. Time is a guest of the ages. The difference between life and death is like being awakened from a dream." The city of Su left the season of recovery in June and entered the season when the flowers bloomed. The willow leaves that flew through the sky seemed to want to carry the passage of time with them. The willow leaves filled the sky like snow. It was a very beautiful scene. They looked like snow in the summer as they drifted across the sky. If the wind was even stronger, they would flutter more and look like they didn't have roots. While beautiful, they would also give off a hint of sadness. They seemed like wanderers that had no home. They could only move with the wind, not knowing where they would go. Perhaps they would land in the river and become part of the water, or fall on the ground and mix with the dust. They would then be swept away by the powerful wind. Their fate was the wind, and different winds gave them different lives. There was one wisp of willow that was white and covered in flowers gently fluttering in the air. It landed in the palm of a young man in white who was on a small boat. The young man was holding a wine jug in his left hand and drank a mouthful of wine as he recited a haughty poem. His voice wasn't loud, but it gave off a leisurely feeling, like he was going to pursue the end of the world. Behind the young man was a middle-aged man wearing the clothes of a book boy. He had a bitter expression, and every time the young man took a sip, the middle-aged man's heart would ache a bit more. One jug of Osmanthus wine cost 7 silver pieces. Expensive, really too expensive. Drinking a mouthful is almost like swallowing half a piece of silver. The willow leaf that landed in the young man's hand stopped for a moment but didn't seem to reach its end point. It seemed to release a faint sigh as it flew off from the young man's hand. It fluttered into the distance with a hint of madness as if it knew where it was destined to go and charged tirelessly toward its goal. There was a forest of peach blossoms on the river bank. As the willow leaves fluttered away, peach blossoms fell into the river, causing ripples to echo. The crazed willows dance with the wind, the light peach blossoms flow with the river. Wang Lin drank the wine in his hand and his laughter echoed. Aside from the boatman and these 2 people, there were 3 beautiful women on the boat as well. One was playing the zither and 2 were singing and dancing. The boat floated along the river, through the stone bridge, and leisurely into the distance. "Big Fortune, bring out the wine." Wang Lin turned around and looked at the middle-aged man as he laughed. Big Fortune had a bitter expression and continued to sigh. He picked up a jug of wine and unwillingly handed it to Wang Lin. He began speaking as if he was about to cry. "Young lord, there really isn't much silver left. We are renting this boat but also buying wine. These 3 little girls accompanying us cost a lot too. The daily cost is simply too high. How about we go ashore and find a cheap inn to save some money? What's the rush? The person I'm waiting for hasn't arrived. Wang Lin shook his head and smiled. He took the jug and drank as he sat down. He listened to the beautiful woman playing the strings on the zither. The sound of the zither was gentle and cheerful, but it couldn't enter Wang Lin's mind. Young lord, I have taken out all the silver I hid. You. Damn it, this old man counted. If we continue spending like this, we are going to end up as beggars in 7 days. It has been more than 1 month. Who the hell are you waiting for and why haven't they come? Big Fortune's heart ached as he bitterly complained to Wang Lin. As if he looked very funny, the woman that was taking a break from dancing laughed. Big Fortune's eyes widened and he stared at the woman. After muttering a bit, he picked up a jug of wine himself and took a big gulp. I need to drink more, this is good wine. 1 mouthful is half a silver. The zither music is still not right. Wang Lin leaned against the side of the boat and gently shook his head. After a long time, he seemed to have drunk too much. He got up and walked next to the woman playing the zither. He placed his hand on the zither and the beautiful woman's face turned red as she withdrew her hands. I remember a song. I don't know the name, but I heard it in my dream. It should be placed like this, Wang Lin said as he closed his eyes and his hand began playing the zither. At first it was very raw and the broken sound was not a song. However, as Wang Lin focused on playing, the song gradually became coherent. An unspeakable sadness came from the zither music and flew out in all directions. The 2 women resting on the boat went into a daze and looked at Wang Lin. The sorrow in the music was very light, but it could reach one's soul. When you heard it, you couldn't help but be startled. It was unknown how long ago Wang Lin had sat down before the zither and started to play. The woman that was playing the zither sat beside him. There was an unspeaking splendor shining in her beautiful eyes as she seemed to be lost in the zither music. Even Big Fortune was startled as he sat there. He drank mouthfuls of wine one after another. He forgot his heartache and began to stare at his right wrist. Li Muwen had played this zither song. And a different song that contained the same charm came from the blind woman in the demon spirit land. At this moment, tears slowly flowed from Wang Lin's closed eyes. His tears landed on the zither, they seemed to fuse with the song and scattered with the music. He would have the dream every night. He saw a lot, but not everyone was clear. There were a few people that were still blurry. Although they were vague figures, that feeling of sorrow is very strong. Under this zither music, the boat drifted across the river and passed through many bridges until dusk arrived. Wang Lin waited for more than 1 month, but the person from his dream that should have appeared still hadn't shown up. As the boat floated under a stone bridge, 2 figures unknowingly appeared on the stone bridge and listened to the sad zither music. These 2 people were old men with white hair. One of them wore a green robe. Although he was just standing there, he stood straight like a pine tree. His expression gave off a sense of age and his eyes revealed wisdom. Even just standing there, he gave off the aura of a grand scholar. He was Su Dao. Su Dao revealed an emotional gaze as he looked at the boat floating away. He saw Wang Lin playing the zither and leisurely said, "What a sad song, such a song is not something an ordinary person can play." The sorrow reveals sadness that could only appear after one has experienced countless years. The image of that sad figure still lingers in his heart. Susan, this old man didn't make this trip in vain. The old man behind Su Dao also let out a sigh. If Wang Lin saw this person, he would recognize him as the old man who watched him write his exam until the end. Student didn't expect him to be able to play the zither. When I saw his exam paper, I felt that this child was not ordinary. When I came to meet you, I saw this child on the boat, so I thought I would bring you here to see him, sir. The old man respectfully bowed. The boat went further away and the zither music gradually disappeared. At this moment, Su Dao smiled. He took a few steps down the bridge and shouted at the boat below. "Young man, tell this old man what you think karma is." Wang Lin's hand stopped and the zither music stopped. He opened his eyes and looked back with confusion. From his position, he could only see the old man and not the second old man on the other side of the bridge. At this moment, night arrived and the bright moon hung in the sky. In the night, the figure of the old man was a bit blurry, and even the bridge seemed to be hidden under the moonlight. Even Wang Lin's gaze seemed to become blurry. He looked at the old man, at the bridge, and the surrounding haziness as he began to mutter, "Karma. It shouldn't be like this. If this was time reversing, if this was a reincarnation, if this was a dream, then I should have met the me in my dream. But why did I meet this old man? Why is it like this?" Wang Lin had waited for more than 1 month. He had waited for that scene that caused him to awaken in confusion and spend a day drinking wine. In that dream, he saw the other him in the dream appear on the bridge in the city of Su. However, instead of meeting his dream self, he met this old man. This can't be explained. I know about the soul-refining sect. I can even vaguely guess that the person that will appear in the soul-refining sect hundreds of years from now is the dream me. I have gained enlightenment in all of this, but didn't I see him here? Wang Lin's eyes were filled with confusion. He didn't understand, even he himself became blurry. As Wang Lin remained in a state of confusion, the boat floated further and further away. When the old man saw that Wang Lin didn't answer, he smiled and shouted again. "Young man, tell this old man what you think karma is." "Karma? I'm karmic cause, I'm karmic effect." Wang Lin's voice slowly arrived and gradually disappeared with the boat. Su Dao smiled as he looked at the boat that disappeared. He turned back and looked at the student behind him. "What is his name?" This video will end here.